Hi everyone, we're Travel with Johnny and Will, and today we embarked on a new cruise, first time on MSC World Europa, departing from Barcelona.
So we arrived this morning in Barcelona. We took an early flight from Dublin, and everything was plain sailing, thank goodness. And when we got off the plane, got our bags, literally straight outside the main airport terminal.
Yeah.
There is a taxi rank, and literally we just jumped in a taxi. Whenever you get into the taxis, you'll see that there are set tariffs. And we paid €39 for the taxi from the airport directly to the cruise port. The journey took about 20 minutes?
Yeah, it was really, really quick.
Yeah. About 20 minutes before we got our first glimpses of World Europa.
Yeah, and this was the point we were both getting really excited about getting on an MSC ship again, and then getting on a brand new MSC ship for us, World Europa.
Yeah, obviously the biggest ship we've been on before is MSC Virtuosa, and we really love that ship, but this is bigger and hopefully better, but it's certainly bigger. And so we just arrived into the terminal building here. There was people standing outside the front of the building to take our luggage. We already had our little tags printed on the cases. So it's just a matter of dropping those off and then making our way inside then for check-in. And when we arrived inside, there were sort of like boarding groups, and we were group number 10 we were given.
Yep.
We had to wait around, 5 minutes?
5 minutes, 5 minutes. And security was before the boarding. Yeah. So it was baggage, security, boarding, and 10 minutes wait, and we were on the ship.
Yeah, literally, it was so quick. We waited for about 5 minutes sitting down, and then we were called straight up to the desk. We handed in our passports, and they took our pictures, gave us our cruise cards, and on we were. So I do think it was about 10 to 15 minutes all in all, which is really, really good.
So yes, getting on board MSC World Europa, we were a bit starstruck, I think. You get on, and it's a little bit different in Virtuosa in that it doesn't have the large openness. It feels very much like a long mall of 3 decks or something inside. It just doesn't feel like a ship.
Yeah.
Yeah, and all the curves and things, which was quite nice.
So we just headed straight up then to the pool to get a breath of fresh air and of course a drink. And then that meant our holiday really had started. So we had a couple of drinks there at the pool before making our way into the El Mercado, which is one of the buffet restaurants on board. There are actually 2 buffets on this ship. It is that big.
Yeah, so in the buffet restaurant, I just had a baked potato and a slice of pizza. I wasn't that hungry at that stage.
Yeah, I had a bit of pasta and some salad. We didn't have anything like dessert-wise or anything. I don't think
we could find the desserts for some reason.
But we had plenty to keep us going, and then after that, then we decided to go for a walk back down onto deck 8.
Well, just before, do you remember I'd called my dad, and I wanted to show him around the ship. So it's really weird. At the back of the buffet, it's not the back of the ship. You can go out, and then from there's like a pool on one side of the ship, and then there's a mirror image of a pool on the other side, and then there was a bar, and this was all above. This is all sitting on deck 19, I think, or 18 or 19 that buffet was. And then it all looks down into the World Promenade. Yeah. So for me, this was the first time I'd ever seen this sort of the 2-tiered aspect at the back of the ship. So I was just blown away by this.
Yeah, so we decided then to head down to deck 8 to the World Promenade. And basically you come outside, you're outside, but there's some of it covered. And it's really strange because, as Will says, it's sort of built up on 2
There's
sides.
the bridge in the middle.
Yeah, the bridge in the middle.
Yeah, and at the back, actually.
Yeah, and that bridge sort of like in the middle, that was the buffet restaurant, wasn't it?
That linked the buffet restaurant on 18 and then also the buffet at 19.
Yeah. So you're sort of walking, and you have the fresh air of being outdoors, but half of it's sort of covered. And then there was a few shops. There's a fish restaurant. There is like an ice cream milkshake place. There's a coffee emporium.
Then there's a bar.
But again, we just wanted a quick wander around just to sort of see what that place was that we had saw from up above.
Yeah.
So it was at that point then, it was about 1:30, and we decided that we would head up to the cabin. Cabins were ready at 1:30, and we wanted to get rid of our backpacks. So we headed up to the cabin, and we'll insert footage of our cabin here now, but we'll also put the link on screen and in the description below if you want to check out our full cabin tour. But we're staying in a balcony cabin with Oria experience.
Yeah.
And we're staying in cabin 15115. Is that right?
15115. Yeah, and if any of you have travelled on a recent MSC ship like Virtuosa, Bellissima, Euribia, yeah, these cabins will be very familiar.
Yeah.
It's very similar to what Virtuosa offers, which is a really good cabin.
And whenever you book the Oria experience, your cabin does seem to be quite midship. So we're quite near the lifts, and we're sort of quite in the middle of the ship.
About 4 cabins down from the corridor to the lifts. So, although because the ship's so wide, to walk from this side to the other side of the ship, it would take quite a while, wouldn't it?
So then we decided that we would head down to the Oria Spa.
So we made our way down to deck 8 to the Oria Spa, and we met the MSC Spa staff at reception, and one of them was kind enough to give us a little tour around the thermal areas and also the treatment rooms. And I must say, the thermal area on this ship is extensive. It's got a hydrotherapy pool. It has like a soft sauna, a more harsh sauna, which I think just means one was slightly cooler than the other. And then there was all these other, there was like a cold shower, there was like an ice bucket thing, there was a salt
snow
thing.
room. There was like a snow room.
There was a room that was literally a refrigerator.
Yeah.
No, like, a freezer. It was a freezer.
There was like frost and everything in it.
Yeah. So that looks really good. Like, we're really looking forward to giving that a go and bringing you content from there as well.
Yeah, so as part of our Oria experience, you get basically a pass to use in the spa. So it's important though that you have to remember to book it. So they told us at reception in the spa that you can book it either the day before and up to 3 hours before you want to use it. So well, I just hope that is right.
Yeah.
To get booked in, but we know exactly when we're looking to go, so hopefully we'll be primed to get that booked. But we're really looking forward to it. It was really big. Like, there was so many treatment rooms. It was like a maze down there. But yeah, we're looking forward to trying that.
So after the spa tour, we made our way to the Master of the Seas pub. And anyone familiar with the MSC branding will know that this is the British pub on board on some of their newer ships. And this one was really amazing inside. It had 2 layers, although at this stage we didn't know that this upper bar was a different name. And it also had its own brewery on board. So I had to try one of the beers that was brewed on board, and I must say it was quite nice.
Purely for research purposes.
Yeah.
But the beers that they brew, they have one that is like a bitter, one that's like a lager,
and one that's
like a stout.
Yeah.
So they do 3 different types of their own beer. I wasn't wanting to try any of those. I'm not a beer drinker, so I was happy with the gin, and then I had a cider. But yeah, so after that, then we decided just to go for a bit of a walk around, see what we could see. We went into the casino. Obviously it was closed because we were still in port, but we went to see the casino, and at the back of the casino there is what's called the Promenade Lounge, and it's sort of nearly like an arena sort of style because it's very tiered, all the tiered
Yeah,
seating.
and it's very wide, isn't it? Yeah.
And then sort of the stage right at the very bottom. So we're looking forward to seeing what the week brings and what kind of shows are actually on in there. What isn't on, it's not like some of the other ships that we've been on where they have the carousel productions and those shows.
Oh, yes, yeah.
I don't think, because we haven't seen those advertised.
Yeah.
And certainly we weren't able to book tickets.
And there's no option to pay for them, so they're free to view shows.
So we'll see what happens as the week goes on as to what's actually in there. But then it was time just to get back to the cabin, unpack our luggage, and then get ready for dinner.
So we made our way to the Bubbles restaurant on board, which is the main dining room for Oria guests, or we think it is. As part of our package with Oria, we receive anytime dining, which means we can rock up at the restaurant at any time and be seated and take the meal from there. Other guests have set down in times, and they must arrive at those times, whereas we can arrive at any time.
Yeah, and I actually noticed on one of the restaurant signs was that you actually have to arrive within 15 minutes of your allocated time.
Or else what?
You're not allowed in.
Yeah, you won't be allowed in, yeah.
So basically, yeah, so if I think the first dining time is like 5:30 or 5:45. So, and then you've only really 15-minute window to get there. So the Oreo package is more expensive, but for us it is worth it because we don't really want to be told what time to eat at. Granted, we normally eat around the same time every night, but we just sort of don't like to be limited, really.
Plus, it usually means you'll get seated together and not at a shared table with other guests that you don't know.
So tonight it was Mediterranean night, and we both had the same thing. We weren't really fussed
for every single course.
Yeah, we weren't overly fussed on the menu choices. We both had the minestrone soup to begin with a mountain of bread, it seems, and then we had the beef lasagna, and then for dessert we both had baklava. But I have to say though, the food was nice. It was really nice.
Yeah, the lasagna actually had meat in it this time, which was good.
Not like our last cruise. And then after that, we decided just to check out a few other areas of the ship. It's a big ship to explore, and we've only a week to do it. So yeah, we decided then to check out the Sportsplex.
Yes, and to my amazement, they had bumper cars up there. Well, I might call them bumping cars.
Well, do you call them bumping cars or bumper cars? Let us know in the comments below.
It's a very important question. It must be answered. And again, there wasn't even many on them. It was only €5. I think we'll definitely do it. We just weren't going to do it right after dinner.
No.
But yeah, again, that is like right at the top of the ship, and then when we left, I wanted to see what was outside. And basically the bridge that joins the two buffets it tops out right there at that level, and then you can see the bumping cars. And I said to him, I bet you those bumping cars could smash out and then like land on the World Promenade below, but probably not.
If it happens in this cruise,
yeah,
we'll make sure we try and get footage.
We'll let you know. So we made our way to the front of the ship, to the World Theatre, to catch the first show of the cruise, which was called, what was it called, Johnny?
A Night on Broadway.
Right in America. If you can fight in America. Life is alright in America. If you're right in America. You'll never be a day when I won't be my good intentions with my most wrongs always mean no good deed, 'cause I'm
So basically, it was sort of tribute to all your sort of favourites from the likes of West End Story, Phantom of the Opera. There was Wicked. There was, I think the finale was Hairspray. But I have to say, even though it was all different kinds of musicals, the joining of each sort of scene and the joining of each musical was done quite well.
It was done quite well, yeah.
A lot of people, we know a lot of people sort of diss the MSC shows, the production shows, because they're very disjointed in terms, and some of them are. We once watched a show where a woman was tied to a post and then like a gorilla came out on the screen, do you remember? So it was very strange.
People did leave at that
yes.
show though when that part came up.
But this was really tastefully done. The singers were superb.
And the costumes were amazing. Yeah, there was definitely no expense spared in those.
Yeah. One thing to mention about the World Theatre is it's huge. But as you're making your way down the steps, the aisle seats, so the seats on the end of each row,
yeah,
on either side of the aisle, there's two seats which are slightly wider. Now we didn't realise this whenever we picked the seats, so we just sort of...
I actually realised it on the way down.
Oh, did you?
And I thought, let's sit here.
I
Because
didn't.
normally the seats are very, very narrow, especially on MSC new theatres seats.
Yeah. But so we sort of plunked our bums down. I was just like, oh, this is. I've got loads of room, and you were like a distance away from me. So yeah, so there are definitely seats there for the more fluffier cruiser, and maybe lots of people will need them after their week of eating. So, but yeah, they were very comfortable. I have to say they were very comfortable. So after the show, we came out and we went to the gin bar, which is called the Gin Project, and it's the upper level of Masters of the Seas.
Yeah.
There is there's a pool table in it, and there was
There's
live
also
music.
a little museum
I
right
actually came out.
outside.
But that's not a gin museum though. That's like a tea
Oh,
museum.
that's for the tea
Yeah.
bit that's next
There's
door.
like a tea house next door.
We'll get there eventually.
Yeah, we'll try that too. But in the gin bar, there's a pool table. There was live music on downstairs, so obviously you could hear it upstairs. So yeah, like there was a great atmosphere in the place. We were able to just get straight in, get a table and a little booth.
And there was free tables around us the entire night.
Yeah.
And also the bar staff were so friendly, as they always are with MSC.
So yeah, we had a couple of gins, and we actually had a gin cocktail called the Queen Spritz, which was really nice. But it got nicer the further you drank it. So
Yeah.
I'm
So
not
either
sure.
the bubbles got flatter or the syrup just got more concentrated at the bottom or something. But yeah,
It was really,
good.
really nice. Well, I'll probably get more of those as the cruise goes on. So as we were at sea now, that means that the shops can open. So one of the places we wanted to go to was the MSC logo shop. And the first thing we always like to buy whenever we're on a cruise is a ship model to add to our collection. And we normally try to do this on the first night because we have been on cruises where we don't, and then there's none left.
It's out of stock, and then we're crying.
Yeah.
I'm having to console you.
Because we didn't, if you don't get a ship model of a new ship that you've been on, then you just haven't been on
the
it.
ship.
So we wanted to go and get our ship model, and we actually got a few other items. We got some of the room diffusers with the MSC Med scent that they use. You got a T-shirt as well.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. Did we buy something else? There was something else I think we bought as well as the ship model. I'm not sure. But because it was our first day on board, we got 10% off, which was great. So we're actually glad we went there on the first night. Because come to think of it now, if we didn't go there on the first night, we would have added more money on the next night. So, yeah, we did well. Well done us.
So that just about sums up our first day on board MSC World Europa. If you've liked this video and you're wanting to tune in to our next days on board, be sure to subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss out.
And don't forget, folks, do you call them bumping cars or bumper cars? Answer in the comments below, please.
Thanks so much for watching. Bye.
Bye.